how about if you guys go Mount Wayale with the water? Where are you gonna put it? No. The other side. Yeah. No, you know what I mean? With all the waterfalls. I don't know what.
It looks like nobody's checking, so tomorrow I think we could probably.
Hi, Marla. Oh, nice to meet you too, Vanessa. Thanks for coming.
What's your name?
Dan, Dennis,
And
I
they're gonna
know.
be finished with their fund.
That's right. I have one RCH employee and it's like, they're gonna survive or not?
Yep, exactly. Hello, morning. Morning. You guys the artists?
We are the artists.
Oh, mean, bro. You guys did a good job. All you ladies did a good job.
Miss Owens, this is my first time up here, but anyways.
Why don't you guys get the brushes organized in a section and then start unloading those? A lot of them are still wet.
So you know what? Yeah,
The fun part, once we get all set up, start watching these things. You can see kind of what stations they're at, and you can decide which one you want.
I was grading.
Putting the chart in front of you. So everybody listen. Come, bring it in. Okay, so we're trying our best to keep the paint from getting like completely disgusting. So we're using the spoon to scoop onto a plate, right? And then what you're gonna do is take one of these napkins. So you're gonna like scoop a little bit of paint, and then use a napkin to like wipe off your spoon. And then don't throw it away. Like recycle it because we don't want to waste these spoons because they're precious. Okay. And then you guys want to make sure that you put the spoon, like keep like with like. So put the spoons in a common place so we're not like, where's the spoon? Because towards the end of the day you guys are going to feel instantly wipe on the side of the can. Try your best to just like wipe off as much as you can because it becomes really hard to close the lids when the paint's all over the can. And then what else? For cleanup, drop your brushes down without like, just keep them in water if you're going to take a break or change your color or something. That's pretty much it. Just like, yeah, so wash it in the bucket. So we need people to fill up buckets. So we've got some small buckets and big buckets. So fill up buckets with water, and then we can use the cups to get like smaller amounts of water at a time. Okay, let's start. Alright. Somebody put a trash bag, tie it to the tent pole.
I want to do like a bunch of like
Look at plants. Go right there and look at plants, and then draw plants.
draw plants. If I were iPhone, I can drop you guys pictures.
Do it. Good job. Because I have service for sure. It's gonna be fun. I'm just putting that.
I would try to bring a speaker, but no. My sisters ended up using it and died, so I had to charge it.
And then this one's come out longer.
These water lines up there, like just to kind of fill the space. It's either that or trying to roll an ombre kind of thing with rollers.
The ombre thing, I think we should have done that before.
So I don't think we should do that. Okay.
Because that would be so hard to in between them.
Yeah, I think we can get a cool effect with just like a few accents. Oh, we have our splatter effect too that we're going to do, right?
Yeah.
So splatter painting.
Splatter paint will be cool.
We'll do it.
I mean, I don't think it's that too on there. Because I think the open space is kind of nice.
Kind of like how that one looks. Yeah. Well, what's
Sort of
happening
like,
over here? The density is coming to this stony filter. I did that because I didn't have the primer glue. Oh, okay. But I was trying to erase something in the face. Part two has a background, but we'd have to paint everything. Yeah, you'd have to do it. Which is not the pain in the booty. Yeah.
have her do the water on the other side. Yeah. We'll continue with the tarot a little bit. We'll draw some of the hilarious statements.
Oh, she's starting her leg.
Oh yeah.
The leg.
Oh, do you want to try? Remember you need some
Like a brush.
you know,
We're just drawing them.
I don't know, where should I start?
Or you could do the water to analyze like what needs to be, you know.
Yeah, let's try this.
Natalia Orner.
Okay, will you spell them both for me?
Nataliaorne. So we've started like the blocking out of the water and stuff, but I'm just trying to make it more cohesive because there's like, you can see the different styles of all of the different people and who's painted what and how it's like, so I'm just trying to blend it all together so that it looks like it's more, and like this is just a base for everything that's down, so I'm just trying to make it look more finished and ready so that we can add in the smaller details because the water is just kind of something to blend the whole thing together. I'm really excited. Like, I've always loved art and stuff, and I joined art club this year because I'm a freshman. So it's, I've painted some murals before at the school, but I haven't been able to leave, so it's really exciting, especially to like help add something to the community and stuff, and I think it'll really add to the place because it was very plain before.
I was telling her for so long yesterday. That's all I've been doing. And then we will. We talk to these people. Yeah. Mr. Cox, like, he keeps on along one of the walls by his classroom once, like, to do like a little mural with like the truffle tree from like the Laura thing, like, to the Laura.
Make a black line. And then I need more like, don't have that many in flight, just this guy for now, but let me look a little bit more. I might have.
Are there any birds native to Wailua? We don't know that.
I emailed a bird photographer and asked him that, and he was like, he said probably, he suspected probably most of the forest birds that are extinct. Some are extinct, but these are all native birds.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like any of those. I just don't have a lot of them in flight, but I think we could probably draw them. If you want to draw them on paper first, you know, and then try transfer them.
So how does the transfer work? I haven't
You just put
used
this,
the carbon paper before.
you just put this, whatever you put this on, like you take a pencil, like I can even do it with my fingernail.
Oh.
It's like how they used to make receipts back
Oh
in the
yeah,
old
yeah.
days.
Just a finger
Pencil.
or a pencil?
I have pencils.
Okay.
Or pen. I have pen.
Cool.
So you want to work on some birds?
Sure.
Yeah. So you want a pencil so you can like draw them first on paper? Vanessa Owens, Vanessa, Owens, Owens.
And you're an art teacher at Kapaa High?
I am art teacher at Kapaa High.
Okay. Now, is this art class or art club?
This is a combination of art class and art club. It's about 50-50. More art class though. So initially, back in the fall of this year, the DLNR asked if we could paint a mural on the new bridge that was being vandalized with graffiti. So we started planning and creating sketches, and we've been going back and forth with them and Hawaiian practitioners with our design ideas. it came up that we were going to be able to do it for sure. So that's where we're at. And do you want to know about the content of the actual
Yes, please.
imagery?
Yeah.
Okay. So we wanted to keep it, after speaking with a Hawaiian practitioner and learning about the location a little bit more, he told us about how it's very important to incorporate native plants and animals into the design, and also just to keep it very pono with Hawaiian culture. He also told us a lot about this area being very, like the water of this area is extremely important, and how it's part of an ahapua system. And so our students began to incorporate designs that were reflective of that concept. So we had a lot of different ways to interpret it, and the final design is sort of, these are based off of hula dancers who are storytellers, and they are telling the story of the importance of water and also the history of the ahapua system that once was of this area. Okay, yes, so before we started working here, the walls were just concrete gray. This bridge was just built in September, or I think even prior to that, like last summer, and it was constructed beautifully, and it was just fresh concrete, and it became like a prime spot for vandalism and some attempts at art. Like there were actually some designs that people were trying to like create art on, and but it was becoming just sort of an area for people to tag on. And so it was looking a little run down and abused. And it was also growing a lot of mold and mildew, and just because this place is so humid and just attracts those conditions. And so then the DLNR primed it for us, and now we're restoring it. In our experience, that's been the case, and in my experience, just seeing murals in, like I'm from California, and in Los Angeles, a lot of times the community will come together to protect an area by creating murals, because generally they're respected by all. And so that's the goal, is that, and in my experience, that murals do dissuade vandalism. Long-term maintenance, my plan is that after this project is finished, that it's sealed with a coating that if it is vandalized or spray painted over, it's easy to clean off. It's not 100% guarantee. It is a community project, so that's part of the flexibility of public art, is that this is our gift to the community, and it's up to the community to respect it. And if it's not respected, that's a reflection of the community, which I have faith that our community is going to respect our art. So in total, I think about 20 students have helped out with this project through designing and helping actually physically work on the project now. We have about 30 quarts of paint and 4 gallons of paint, which the DLNR has kindly offered us a budget for. And I've just been toting back and forth in my truck every day to get back and forth from this project. Yes, this project so far has been extremely well received by the community. People drive back and forth to visit the Arboretum, and they're thanking us for what we're doing. They're stopping and oohing and awing and taking pictures and putting us on their Facebook pages. And kids have stopped and asked if they could help paint, and we've invited them and handed our paintbrushes to them so they could add a swirl or a line or fill in a shape. Or so we're very open to the community participating as well if they, like to. And then it has been really well received, which is making us feel very validated. I think absolutely these students would be dissuaded from doing graffiti now, knowing how to create public art. My goal and sort of like my sadness about this project is that more students weren't able to join, and more community members weren't able to join, so that they could be given the tools to create art as a form of public art expression instead of, non-permitted tagging or I'm calling it vandalism, but to that it's also a form of expression. So I think that if I'm to do a project like this in the future, I would even want to put a PSA out to invite, you know, everyone to come and participate so that people could see that it's something that you can actually do legally and organized. Yeah, there's only so much control you can have over public art. So, and you know, with so many different styles going on, there's just you just have to embrace the randomness of it all, and accept the organized chaos to some degree.
So there's no good or bad unless, of course, I got a paintbrush and then it would really be bad. So.
No, even then, I think that everybody can participate in a mural in some capacity, and a lot of people have a fear about, oh, I'm going to mess it up, but you really can't. I mean, it's very, you know, if you make a mistake, it's very easy to paint over. That's the wonderful thing about painting. So.